Hello, good evening. Good Thursday evening at 6 p.m. Hi, Megan. Glad to see you here. I'm glad I finally know your name. Can't wait to catch your blab. I'll talk about that later. Thought I'd give you this quote to look at while we wait for people to join. Hi, Shelley. Thanks for joining us. I hope this turns out to be all that I've ever wanted it to be. This has been my 26-year quest. Hi, Shelley. And I am so completely excited about it. Can hardly contain myself. So I'll start you out with this quote. There's no such thing as a child who hates to read. There are only children who have not found the right book. And I'm telling you, that has to be like, I guess, one of my favorite go-to quotes. How sweet it is, second grade. Glad you're here. Second grade is pretty sweet, isn't it? Love those second graders. Well, I actually like third graders and fourth graders and first graders too. So, yes, that's been my quest, to find the right book for the right kids. And it can make all the difference in the world. And I will show you what I'm talking about in just a minute. I have real live proof. My name is Jenny. I'll turn the camera in just a second and tell you a little bit about myself and why I chose to do this kind of scope. I'm at Link to Teach. That's kind of the name I came up with myself because I really truly believe in collaboration is the best policy of being a teacher. Taught for 26 years, and the most I've learned has been from my fellow teachers. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera. And hello, I am Jenny, and I am a reading specialist, and I teach grades K through 5, struggling readers. I have done this for the past 11 years. And before that, I was in the classroom, so I have 26, just my 26th year, been married 25, so I was young going into both. And actually, I have learned that reading is my passion, and that's really all I want to teach right now. And actually, the fun thing about teaching reading is that it goes with every single subject out there. There isn't a subject that doesn't involve reading, and that's why I fell in love with reading and went to school to get my master's in reading, because it's just amazing the amount of reading that we have in our school and how important it is to our students to know that reading is a lifeline. Reading is important, and reading is high salvage soul. That's a neat name. I wanted to make sure that I did something that I was passionate about. I knew I was going to be doing it a long time, and I don't know about you guys, but when you go to work every day, it's kind of nice to have a career that you look forward to. My husband still can't believe that I look forward to it. He's in social services, and his work is a little less fun, and he still loves it, but he doesn't have the wonderful enjoyment that I have in my day. I get to see smiling kids, and I get to teach kids to love reading, and it's kind of the best of both worlds. So I'm going to go ahead and start with today's topic. I decided to come up with a scope series because I'm all a believer in you can't get everything at one-stop shop, and just like you can't buy a reading package in a box and it makes like everything perfect. And so many times my teachers will say, I want a new reading program, and where is it? And I need to find it, and there's got to be a perfect one. And guess what? There is no perfect reading program. I have found that. I searched for it. That's actually why I went and got my master's, because I thought there has to be something out there. And there is no one-size-fits-all program, just like there's no one-size-fits-all curriculum for our students or ways to teach them. So today what I'm going to do is show you about my love, and that is motivating readers. And it kind of marries with my excitement about reading and the fact that when I was a reader, and I was not a reader, I actually wasn't a reader. When I was a young child, I really did not like to read, and maybe that's why this is near and dear to my heart, because no one ever picked up on that, and no one ever kind of helped me to see the beauty of reading and what wonderful things reading can give you, and how easy reading can make your life when you are good at it. So what I have decided to do is put together a series called Raising Real Readers, and I will advertise this till the cows come home because I believe in it more than anything I've ever done. And what I would like to do today is start out with you with number one, the most important thing in raising real readers, and that is getting to know your child. Getting to know your child, your children, your students. if you do not know what your child likes and what your child is all about, what makes them tick, you are not going to be able to, hi beautiful noise, you're not going to be able to give them what they need. So getting to know them has got to be step number one. And so they always tell you, hi, thanks for joining us. Yes, you know your learners and their interests. You have to, and I found so many like ideas and ways to find out about your kids, and I guess they all work for different reasons. But I've kind of come up with my own little survey that I use that works for me that I'm going to offer to you today, just for free. I think it might work for you. You go ahead and give it a try. Let me know. But the one thing I found out about finding out about your readers is the fact that you need to know some deep-seated things about them in order to know how to approach them when it comes to teaching them to read. So what I have done is you know how they have those reading interest inventories? Those are wonderful and those are great, but I haven't found one that works for me. So I kind of go at things wholeheartedly, and I'm that huggy teacher. I'm the one who's like, hey, how you doing? What you been doing? And I kind of have to get all involved in their lives before I can actually get to know them and help them. So I am actually a Title I RTI reading teacher, and I'm the coordinator of the program, and my ultimate goal is to teach every student to love reading. And I have a couple things to show you today. I wanted to get you started with the number one thing you need to do, and that is to get to know your child and your students as readers. So we'll go ahead and we'll start out. I made myself a little list just to keep on track because I get to yakking. One thing that we need to do is remember that one of the most important things and one of the most powerful things that I've ever seen is that quote that I showed you first. If you can find a book that speaks to a child, you can hook them. And once you get them hooked, it's like a fish. You pull them in, and you can do anything you want to get that child inspired and wanting to read. And I had that happen just the other day. I have had this child. He is stubborn. He's Mr. Sports. He's Mr. Cool. He's Mr. Got to keep this attitude going. He's come to me on and off through the system since second grade, and I kind of wanted to show you an idea what I did with him. Let me see if I can find it. He actually came into my room. We had done something, and he came into my room then one day, and he's like, you are not going to believe this. And I thought, well, you know, okay, what's up? So he told me all about what he had done that night, and I honestly have to share this with you because it is too stinking sweet. I hope you can see it and hear it. I'll turn it on. Okay, hold on. Boof. I want you to hear the beginning because this is so cute.
The most unbelievable thing happened.
Oh, for goodness sakes, Jenny. All right, here we go.
I read this book in one night. It was the first book I ever finished. I am so excited now about reading these kind of books.
Okay, he came and he told me the most unbelievable thing happened to me last night. I went home and I read this whole book. I cannot get that child to read. And he went home and he read an entire book in one night. And my goal is to teach you how to make that happen with your readers and how to make that happen in your classroom, because I'm telling you that feeling is like one of the best feelings that you can have. Is as a teacher, you've inspired, you've put the things together, little puzzles all come together, and finally they get it. It's this epiphany type thing. So I went ahead and I videotaped him because I'm like, oh my gosh, you've got to videotape that because I want to save that forever and ever and ever because that's going to motivate me. So what I want to do is take you again and show you that there are a ton of different ways to get kids motivated. And I have a lot of scopes planned for you to figure out how to make that happen. That didn't happen overnight. That happened over time. And I only get 20 minutes with my kids. If you're a classroom teacher, you get more than 20 minutes with your children. You get all day with your children. I envy you because I would love to spend all day with my kiddos. And I can't. I get 20 minutes to 30 minutes a day, and that's it. And to make a difference in that 20 to 30 minutes is very difficult. But if you are a reading specialist, you can do it too. The beauty is sometimes I get them more than one year in a row, and I have more time with them. But I have created this reading interest interview, and the thing I found out about it is the best way to get kids involved is to interview them, talk to them, get to know them. And this is a first step in that. And I will offer this to you on my blog. You can go grab it for free, print it off, try it. I would like to build with you in this idea of book scoping. Oh, I just love talking about reading, and I love talking about literacy. You've got it. All right, so it's called Let's Talk About Reading, and that's what I want to do. I want to sit down with each and every one of my kids, and I just want to talk turkey. I want to say, hey, what's going on with this, and how do you feel about that, and hey, if you could do this, what would you do? And they kind of open up a little more. I've given those surveys where you pass them all out, they fill them all out, and I kind of look at them, and I kind of figure, and then they go on the wayside, and I go, oh, they like bikes, so I get books about. They're generic, and you know what? Most kids who don't like to read and are struggling with reading don't like to write either. So they're not going to do their best job on that writing project. So what I do is sit down with each child and I interview them like Oprah would interview or Ellen, and I get the juice, I get the meat, and I can tell, I can read their body language, I can tell how long it takes them to answer a question, I can tell if their eyes are darting when they're trying to figure out an answer. It gives me so much more than just words on a page. So I encourage you to try this with a student or two. Just pick those ones who you know need some help, those ones that you know dread reading, and talk to them about it. So you can use my little interview page. It's 2 pages, 10 questions, 10 simple questions to figure out a little bit about that, okay? And the Phantom Toll Booth, love it. So figure out what's going on in their little head. Get to the bottom of it, and then you can decide how to help them. I mean, isn't that what psychologists do? Tell me about your problems. They sit you on the couch, they figure it all out, and you spill, and then they can figure out ways to help you, and that's exactly what I want you to do with this. So it works. It worked for him. I actually asked him, what do you want to learn about? And that was what he did, and I can get into that on future scopes, like how did I approach that? How did I do that as a teacher? So I wanted to show you that. I wanted to show you where you would get it and where you would read a little bit more. I love to blog about each of my scopes so that you miss it or you don't remember and you don't want to listen to my babble again. You can go on and you can read my theories behind things, my research behind things. You can see pictures and photos of real life things. So I put it all on my blog. My blog is called Link to Teach. It's linktoteach.com. Let me show you real quick. All right, this is it, Link to Teach, and it's so simple. I just got it like up and running on a .com, and so it's just linktoteach.com. And if you type in Link to Teach, you'll get there. It's real simple, but today's little one is on Raising Real Readers, Series 1. And honestly, it takes you through. I have links on here, and these links will link you to the scope itself that I gave in case you want to rewatch it one day. It also will link you to your free product. So when you click on here, I always give you a visual of what the free product will be, and then you can actually see it before you go and get it. If you want to waste your ink on it, go for it. If it's worth ink wasting, that makes me happy. So go ahead and try it. I try to make them a little bit prettier so that they're not so boring. But I keep these in the file. Thank you. I keep these in the file so that I have them and I can grab them because I get students in and out, and the first thing I want to do is I want to learn about them. So that's my blog. Okay, now the other thing I wanted to do, oh, I know where it is, it's down here, is I wanted to show you a little bit about, there are reading interest out there. You go look through them, you find one you like, you find one that fits you, or take and pick and choose from them and make your own. That's perfectly fine. I don't care where you get it. I think it's just important. I will. Here we go. Boy, that was weird, wasn't it? Okay, I'll learn to do that in the replay next time. Sorry. But anyway, I guess I was excited. I want you to go ahead and check them out, figure out what works for you, because this is not a one-size-fits-all for kids. This is not a one-size-fits-all for us. You go ahead and you figure out what works for you. If you find a reading inventory that just totally blows you away, use it. But I encourage you to sit down with them. I encourage you to have a face-to-face with them. If you do, you're going to find out some things about those little kiddos that you didn't know before. You're going to be that psychologist reading their body language. And when you ask them, who do you know as a reader? And they start to describe that to you, they're going to be telling you about great grandma who sits and they read on her lap, and they're going to tell you about this and that. But when I have students that I see, they can't tell me who they know as a reader, that's a big clue. No one's read to them. They don't know. And I also get these students who, when I start reading, they gravitate toward me, and all of a sudden they're almost on my lap. And I think, oh, sweet pea, you have not had anybody sit you on your lap or on their lap and read to you. So that's missing too, and that's a good thing to know as a teacher. And I don't care what age they are. There are hierarchies of growing up and becoming emotionally stable. And if you don't have those things, you're not going to be ready to read. These are all things that you need in order to be a good reader. So I went ahead and I showed you where you can find this. Grab it for free, print it off, give it a try, or go find another one, but I do encourage you to do it in person. Now I want to tell you a little bit about where my plan is for this Scope series. So you can invest in it or don't invest in it. If it works for you, fine. I think it will work for any teacher, and honestly I can't think of a grade level it would not work for, or a subject level, honestly. So I'm going to show you what my plan is, and this is just a rough plan, but just so you can see whether you want to tune in at 6 o'clock on Thursday nights or not. So here's what I've got. Let me big screen it so you can actually read it. All right, what I have in mind for you is book talks is next, because we can get to know those kids, but we need to get to know those books. No, I've not heard of Mighty Books. I'll have to check that out. Thanks. And actually, I need to look up your first name because I don't like talking to people as their handle. I'll get to know that, I promise. So these are my planned scopes, book talks. How do you do book talks? Why do you do book talks? Where do you do book talks? Where do I find these books? I've got some great resources, and Twitter, I tell you, will be a great resource to you. Next, read alouds. When do we do read alouds? How do we do read alouds? Why? What are some resources for read alouds? Now, actually, I was going to show you this, and I'll show you in a moment, that there is a blab tonight from the I Teach TV network where you have some literacy gurus who are going to talk about read alouds and whether kids are too old or not too old for read alouds. I'm going to give you a little clue. Kids are never too old for read alouds. My son was a sophomore, and he and I would read together. All right, and then using technology to motivate. If you saw my Instagram post, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you have not, go to Link to Teach on Instagram. You'll see my post. I use technology for that. I have a green screen in my room, and I absolutely love it. I have an iPad, and my kids do that. They use the green screen and the iPad. It motivates them like nothing else, okay? So go look for that IG example and see if you can find that. I have a couple book trailer-ish type green screen things you can look for in there. The next step, inquiry-based learning. The little guy you saw the video of, oh my gosh, that's why I put wowzy, because he made me cry. He made my principal almost cry. Hi, Misty Crazy Teach. Wait a minute, I think I know you. Go ahead and look up inquiry-based learning. Take a little look at that before you join me next time, because I'm telling you, that's the shizzle, that's the dig, that's the way to go, especially with kids who are struggling. Boy, if you can give them the option of what do they want to learn, boy, is that fantastic. And that's exactly what that little boy did. He wanted to learn about Jackie Robinson. By God, he went home and he actually read that entire book in one night. That boy has not read a book in his life. But he read that book in one night, and he told me, I am going in tomorrow, and I'm going to tell Mrs. Marmion, it took me 6 hours, but I read this whole book. And I thought, oh my God, you've made my life. All right, I have 11 years worth of tried and true and tested strategies. I have put my blood, sweat, and tears into teaching these kids to read and to love it. I love them. I love teaching. It's Misty, isn't it? Hi, Misty. All right, I have taught them the love of reading just by being excited about reading myself. But I can show you so many ways that I have found that work. And trust me, I've had a lot of bloopers, but I found a lot of... And I think that you and I will have a good time talking about them. And that's why I like Periscope. You could call me Joe. Hey, Joe. Nice to meet you, Joe. What do you teach, Joe? I would actually like to have conversations with you about this stuff. So if you go on my blog, we can comment and talk back and forth. We can do that through, I don't even care, whatever it takes, email. I'm at linktoteach@gmail.com. Let's talk about it that way. I've hooked up with a couple other people in technology, and we're figuring out ways to use technology to teach reading, and that's motivational too. So whatever it takes. Link to Teach is my love. I love to talk to other teachers. I love to collaborate, and sometimes when that teacher, like I saw in Amy Harris's, I think it was a post from I Teach TV, TV Network about Amy Harris. She's amazing. But I'll tell you what, a special person. But you know what? Those teachers aren't always in your hallway. Those teachers might not even be in your building, but they're out there. And we can make those connections with one another, and we can work together to link to teach the best that we can. So I'm so excited that you joined me. I'm going to try to do this just scheduled. I'm not a teacher, but I want to use Periscope to broadcast with purpose. Go for it. I got purpose, and I'm broadcasting, and plus you can talk to people while you're broadcasting. That's awesome. So I cannot wait to see anyone back here. If you catch the replay and you have any questions, you can go on my linktoteach.com blog, or you can email me, like I said, at linktoteach@gmail.com. We can talk about these kind of things. But like when I get into the technology and the ins and outs of how to use it, that might be when we have the actual questions. Okay? So Amy, Dabs, I was just talking about you, Amy. I was telling them that sometimes you don't always have the inspirational, wonderful teachers that you just want to live with in your building. Hi, you sometimes have to go on Periscope and blab and wherever you can find it to find those teachers that you connect with. So, I mean, I see your heartfelt messages every morning and they inspire me, and I'm hoping that I can inspire you. And I know you teach struggling readers too, and I have some great things to share with you and some great stories. So I hope you can catch the replay and catch the beginning of this, because I got a little guy who would never read, who I gave a little video about what he did. He actually went home and read, and I called his mom, and she was completely blown away because he doesn't read. Actually, she's told me before that reading is a pain in the rear, and she doesn't want to do it at night. So guess where he's come from? And he did a fantastic job. So, okay, rewatch it and let me know what you think. So I plan to come to you guys every Thursday, 6 o'clock on Periscope. I will announce it on Instagram, Facebook, all those things, all the social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Those are the three I'm using right now to announce this, and I will announce it to you prior to the day, probably a day before. And I found my Mighty book back in 2009, and my son and I used to love watching the videos on there. I've got to find out what that is. Motivating readers, seriously, is huge, Amy. If you can't motivate them, all that SSR time, all that homework time, all that stuff means nothing, because they're going to go through the motions, but they're not going to get the gist of it. So to find that and teach them to love it and teach them to want it is going to make a nation of readers and a group of kids that we can be proud to call our leaders one day, because honestly, they have to read more than what's outside of school in order to become successful and happy. And so I'm going to work on reading identities. That's another thing I wanted to do with you guys on this scope. With my own students, I'll let you know how that goes. I'm hoping that they can get that concept and they can run with it. And so I will see you guys at, I've blabbered. So I'm done. I will get with you guys at 6 o'clock every Thursday right here, right now. Same channel, same time, same place. And we can talk. And I hope that you have questions for me about this blab or whatever you want to talk about. So raising real readers. I put my definition, because I made it up, on my blog. You can look it up. So thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget, tonight, I think it's coming up like next at 7 o'clock on Blab, the I Teach TV Network. I believe that's who's sponsoring. I think so. I didn't look at that. There's a video called Metamorphosis. That's cool. I'll have to read this replay myself. So anyway, and it's Joe, right? I'll have to go back and look at that. But thank you very much. Miss Shelley Burke. I didn't see your name come up. I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you. So anyway, I will catch you maybe on the Blab, because there's some literacy gurus on there that I want to be their friend and I want to talk to them, and maybe you and I can talk to them on Blab tonight. So thank you so much. You're a Jen as well. Also, Read, Write, Teach. Jen, Read, Write, Teach. We're connected. All right, so tell you what, I will see you guys later, and have a wonderful evening.